Okay, hi Year 11. This video is here to help you understand some of the questions from paper 4. I'm going to be doing some of the questions that require very specific calculator use, okay? And then Miss Sarah is making a video that has the other questions in it, okay? So I'm doing 3 of the questions. I think it's question 2, question 7 and question 10. Now, I can't show you the calculator in this video. So there's going to be another video that goes with this video that you kind of need to watch them together, where I'm actually going to show you what I'm putting into my calculator as well. So I'm going to make reference to the fact that I've done this on my calculator, and you can watch the other video to see exactly how I did that. Okay? So it's question 2. We've got to find, we've got the heights of some plants are shown in a table. Calculate an estimate of the mean height. Now, whenever you do this, what you need to do is you need to find midpoints. Okay, you need to find the midpoints of these groups. So 5, 15, 25, 35, 45. Okay, because basically what it's saying is you've got 7 people that are between 7 plants rather. 7 plants that are between 0 and 10 centimetres. But we don't know exactly how tall those plants were. So we guess that they're all 5 centimetres. And that is why you can only estimate the answer. You're not going to get an exact answer. You're estimating because you don't know those 7 people, the 7 plants that were between 0 and 10. So you're guessing that they were 5. Okay? And you're guessing that the 13 plants that were between 10 and 20 were 15 centimetres long, okay? Now what you do is you do your frequency times the midpoint. Okay, so 7 times 5, 13 times 5, 20 times 25, 32 times 35, and 28 times 45. And what you would then do is you would add all of these values together. So you'd put them in your calculator. That'd be what, 35? That would be 65. That would be 500, so on and so forth. So you'd add these together and get a total. Then the next, the next mistake that we see that you make is you get whatever this total is, and you divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely not. Do not divide it by 5 because that's not the number of plants that there are. What you need to do is add up the total number of plants. Okay, so that would be 20, 40, 72, there's 100. There's 100 plants. So actually, this all adds up to 3,110. Okay? 31,100. No, it doesn't. Sorry, talking nonsense. 3,110. So the mean is going to be all of the plants' heights added together, 3,110, divided by the number of plants that there were, which is 100. So the answer is 31.1. Okay? Now, in the other video, there is a way of getting your calculator to do all of this work for you, so you don't even have to do much of this work, okay? So watch that other video and watch how I use the calculator to arrive at this answer without doing that much work at all, okay? What I certainly don't want to see is what I saw some of you doing, 7 plus 13 plus 20 plus 32 plus 28, and then divide that by 5. That just doesn't make any sense, guys. Remember, mean is add up all the values and divide by the number of values. These are not values, these are frequencies. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you're still not sure, please ask, because a lot of people in my class keep getting that wrong. Okay, so the next part of the question then asks you to find out the cumulative frequency. And all that is just adding up as you go along. So there were 7 plants between 0 and 10. So the cumulative frequencies is, well, how many are there between 0 and 20? So there's going to be 7 plus 13. It's going to be 20. Between 0 and 30, add another 20, is going to be 40. Okay, add 32, it's going to be 72. Add the 28, it's going to be 100. Okay, there's your cumulative frequency. So now what you do is you plot this on a graph, and what you must plot the upper class boundary against the cumulative frequency. You will not plot midpoints, and you certainly won't plot the lower point, because it's always 0, right? So that doesn't make any sense. So you're plotting 10 against 7, 20 against 20, 30 against 40, 40 against 72, and 50 against 100. So we're going to go 10, 7, which would be about there, 20, 20, which would be about there, oops, 30, 40, 30, 40, I'm just trying to make sure I get that right. You know, you can use a ruler in the exam, so you make sure, I've got that wrong, it's probably over here. Okay, you can use a ruler in the exam so you don't get it wrong. And then 40, 72, 40, 72 is about here, roughly. You need to be precise. And then 50, 100. 50, 100 should be able to get that right. And then what we can do is we can join this up with a smooth curve. Okay, so this is a cumulative frequency curve. Now what we can do is we can use the cumulative frequency curve to answer some questions. Well, we can find the median height. Well, the median height is the middle height, okay? So there are 100 plants. So the middle plant must be the 50th plant. So all I've got to do is, and I must use a ruler and draw these lines in. If you don't, you will lose marks. Okay, and read off what that value is. So I'm going to say, based on mine's 35 centimetres. Now you don't need to have the exact answer because it will be dependent on your cumulative frequency curve. It's only an estimate, so there'll be a range of correct answers. Okay, but those blue lines that I've drawn, you must draw them. You must show what you've done. Okay, now the interquartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. Well, if the median is the middle value, the upper quartile is the 75% value. So, i.e., 3/4 of these plants are below this certain height. So let's go to 75, because 75% of 100 is 75. This is 3/4 of the way up. Again, use a ruler. I'm not using a ruler here, that's why it's not straight. You would use a ruler. Read off. I think that's going to be 41. Lower quartile is the 25% value. Quartile means quarter. Okay. So again, use a ruler. Show those lines. You must show those lines. Is that 25? Okay, 41 minus 25 is equal to 16. So the interquartile range is 16. Again, there'll be a range of correct answers. Okay, the range of heights of plants that are between the 45th and the 55th percentile. So we need the 55th percentile minus the 45th percentile. Well, what is 55% of 100? Well, it's 55. So again, read off 55%. We're going to read off there. I think that's 36. Go with 36. Minus the 45th percentile. So 45% of 100 is 45. And read off that value. I think that's 33. And so the 55 to 45th percentile range is 36 minus 3, which is equal to 3. Okay? If you don't have those blue lines that I've shown there drawn, you're not going to get marks, okay? Because the examiner won't know where you've got your answers from. So even if you do it right, then you're not going to get the points, okay? It's just plain lazy, all right? Put those lines in. Okay, now this question here. 12 students take part in a quiz. The table shows the number of correct answers given by each student. So we've got to find the median. So what you're going to have to do is put it in order first. So we're going to have 3. There appear to be 2 4s. There's 1 5. If I'm wrong, I can fix it in a minute. 2 6s. I can see 2 7s. I can see an 8. I can see a 9. And I can see a 10, so obviously I have done it wrong. What have I missed? I can see a 3, I can see 1, 2 4s, I can see 1 5, 2 6s, 2 7s. Alright, let's do it this way so I count off. So, I can see a 3, I can see 2 4s, I can see 2 6s, I can see, there's 2 9s. That's what I've missed. So 9 and a 10. Okay, there's 2 9s. So I put my data in order. Okay, and how many bits of data are there? Well, there's 12. Okay, so the middle value, if I've got even number of numbers, if I split this in half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, the middle value then is going to be 2 values. There is no middle value, so I take the middle 2 values. And then I take halfway between that. So the median is going to be 6.5, which is just 6 plus 7 divided by 2 is the middle of the 2 values. Add them together and divide by 2. So the median is 6.5. Then what we need to do is find the lower quartile. So from the last question, if you remember, the lower quartile is a quarter of the way along the data. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split it into a half, and then halve it again. Halve it again there. Sorry, just gone annoying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle of that bottom half, because the middle of the bottom 50% is going to be 25%. So again, there's no middle value, so I'm going to take the middle 2 values and go halfway. So it's going to be 4.5. Okay, that's the lower quartile, 25%. If you wanted the upper quartile, you could do the same, split it into half, take the top half. There is no middle, so take those middle 2 values and go halfway. It's going to be 8.5. Okay. Right, now, again, this particular question requires calculator use. Now, this was done really, really badly, my guys, really, really badly. This is probably the question that disappointed me the most, okay, because I'd sent you a revision video on exactly how to do this stuff. And, you know, if you'd watched that video, you would have been able to do it, but many of you didn't, okay? So basic question says, what type of correlation is there between monthly temperature and rainfall? So there's only 3 possible answers to that. It's either a positive correlation, a negative correlation, or no correlation. Okay? Now, I'd hope it would be fairly obvious by just looking at the numbers, but if you're not sure, you can just sort of do a quick plot, a scatter plot, and have a look. But you can see if the temperature is high, so for example in January we have a high temperature, we have a high rainfall. But if the temperature is low, we have a low rainfall. So that means as I increase temperature, I increase rainfall. So we've definitely got a positive correlation. 1 mark, all you need is to write was positive. Okay, it's a positive. As temperature goes up, rainfall goes up. Okay, find the range of the temperatures. Well, range just means biggest minus smallest. So the biggest temperature is 21. The smallest temperature is 8. So 21 minus 8 is equal to 13. So the range of the temperatures is 13. Okay. The mean of these temperatures is, well, you're just going to add them all up and divide by 12. So basically, bear with me while I do that. Again, on the calculator video, I'm going to show you how you can do this nice and quickly. I'm just doing it the long way. Plus 8 plus 11 plus 15 plus 17 plus 19 plus 21 is 186 divided by 12. The answer is 15.5 degrees C. Okay? Now, find the equation of the regression line. I'm not going to answer this question in this video. I'm going to answer this question in the calculator video, because you're just going to use a calculator to find it out. If you use a calculator properly, this is going to be the easiest 2 marks that you ever get. Okay? So watch the calculator video to understand that. And then I'll also answer that question as well. Okay? Now, this question here, this was question 10. Just bear with me a second. Sorry, it's quite annoying. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop the video here because it's getting quite long and my computer's not working anyway.